Right, hello everyone. Thank you very much for coming and joining me today on Warren's Team Talk. I hope you're all well and having a great day. And I hope you're waiting with bated breath for this one. Today we're going to review the FA Premier League's match day 31 that happened over the weekend. And there were some big games, some big results, and a lot of drama and heartache in this one, that's for sure. And not just with Arsenal for a change. But anyway, I hope that you're all well. Before we get started, please can I ask you to put a like on the video. Please can I ask you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And please make sure that you pass the content around. That'd be fantastic. So thanks very much, like I say, for coming and joining me. It's lovely to see you all, and it's always the usual suspects that are here. I've got Taib Hussain, Craig Malloy, Joanne Smith. Hello to you guys. I hope you're all really well, and it's lovely to see the team talkers in the chat. I'm really happy to see you all. So thanks ever so much. I really do appreciate your support. Anyway, so let's start by looking at some of these chats before we get started. Hi, Warren. I hope you're well, bro, says Taib. Yeah, I'm good, mate. Looking forward to this. I've been working on another show. I'm doing this week. I'm doing the next instalment of the Warren's Team Talk FA Cup journey, and the next step on that journey is the FA Cup semi-final clash between Manchester City and Liverpool. Manchester City are currently holding the Warren's Team Talk banner after they defeated Southampton in the last round in the quarterfinals. So they actually laid rest to that curse that had been on the banner. So let's see what happens now, because every round before that, the current holders had been knocked out. And yeah, they had every single holder, every team that went into the round as holders got knocked out. So they're the first team to be holders of that banner and not get knocked out. So fair play to them. Let's see if they manage to hold on to it this weekend when they play Liverpool. Also, this weekend, when I'm doing the match day live, they will be kicking off their semi-final at 3:30. So it will mean that from about 3:30 as well, we'll be looking at their game as well. So that should be interesting. So the match day live might be a bit longer than normal. So I hope that's okay and that you don't mind. Let me know in the chat and tell me what you think. Craig Malloy says, hi, Warren. Hi, Craig. Nice to see you, mate. I hope you're okay. And Craig Malloy says, my mate worked in a pet shop, but he got the sack. He got caught with his hands in the drill. I like it. Yeah, I used to have a budgie, you know. We used to give it trill. So, yeah, I think it was birdseed anyway. Might have been the this cuttlefish thing that they used to like sharpen their beaks on. But yeah, I've got a story about a pet shop. It was rather, let's say it was an exotic pet shop, and they used to have live snakes in their pet shop. And I had to go and visit the pet shop because at the time I was working for the career service, and I had to go and find out how they recruited people and sort of opportunities they had for people, what sort of things they were looking from what sort of things they were looking for from people who were going to work there, stuff like that. So anyway, I was sitting in the entrance of sort of halfway down the shop, waiting for the owner to come and have a chat with me. And this guy walks into the shop and he has this sack which is tied up. And it looked quite a big sack. and there was something wriggling around. I could see it was a brown sack, right? And I could see that there was something wriggling around in the bottom of it. And I was the only one who was prepared to go and see this shop, by the way. None of my colleagues wanted to do it. So I went, and this guy, like I say, walked in with this sack, and it looked like something was wriggling inside the sack. It was really tightly tied, this sack. This fella come to me and said, he plonked the sack down in front of me and goes, yeah, that's the owner of the shop, whatever his name was. I'm just going to call him Mr. Brown. He said, yeah, that's for Mr. Brown. It's a python. And I said, what? He said, yeah, it's a python. I'm telling you, my eyes did not go off that sack from the moment that guy left the shop until the owner come back. And I said, yeah, mate, this python is... might want to go and deal with it before we start having our chat. So the guy took the sack and wandered off. Jesus Christ. I was absolutely cacking myself. Anyway, so yeah, there you go. I just thought you'd like that. Joanne Smith says, hello, Taib and Craig. And Joanne says, hello, Warren, my lovelies. Hi, Joanne. I hope you're well. Nice to see you. And Craig Malloy says, hi, Joanne. And Taib says, hi, Craig. Hi, Joanne. And Craig Malloy says, hi, Taib. Big up. And Taib Hussain says, I love your channel, Warren. Also, your sense of humour is top class. Well, I don't think it's as top class as yours, mate, but never mind. I just like having a laugh, really, to be honest. Joanne says, the fence man is coming in the next half hour for a quote. Good. So if you have to go, just go and deal with the fence man and whatnot. But that sounds really good news. Any sign of the Wanderer, by the way, Joanne? I've been watching the documentary on JFK. Yeah, that's a really weird story, that one. Definitely. There's no way that that fella was killed by, or he died the way that the American government would have you believe that he was killed. Joanne says, not at all. The longer, the better. Oh, dear. Okay. You don't want him to come back. I'm chilling with Dexter the cat. Oh, that's nice. It wasn't Jake the Snake Roberts, was it? Joanne says, I don't think so. And it wasn't Hissing Sid either. Taib Hussain says, was it Jake the Snake that bought the sack in? Laugh at that. No, it was not. And it wasn't Arteta the Snake either, and it wasn't Arteta in the sack, unfortunately. Why not Spursy? Mick Arteta says, big up, Warren. I hope you're well, man. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much, mate. Craig Malloy says, why not Sentiment? Big up. And Taib was saying, hi, Spursy Milk. Hi, Spursy Milk. And Taib says, Mick. Right, okay. Craig Malloy says, why not Spursy Milk? Big up. And Unigate. We're going to call it Mr. Unigate for now. Yeah, back in the day, there was this advert in this country about a character called Humphrey, and it was a fictitious character who had something to do with Unigate dairies who used to supply milk. And they used to have milk floats, and milk floats were things that used to go like little special vehicles that used to go around the place delivering milk, because the milk used to get delivered to people's houses first thing in the morning every day back then. Not many people used to buy it from a supermarket. You used to get it delivered to the house, and the people who delivered it used to like come on like special vehicles. Why not Spursy? Mick Arteta, love Arsenal, hate Kroenke. Says big up Craig, big up Taib. In fact, I am going to have a look and see if I can find a picture of a milk float, which would be absolutely hilarious. Hold on. Oh, there is a about. Hold on a sec. Right, so hold on, guys. I'm just about to share the screen so you can see this because it is quite funny, actually. Right, so there you go. You see that? That's in the picture on the far right. You can see Muhammad Ali, and he's like, that's a still. That is a still from Jesus Christ. What is? Yeah, that's a still from an advert where he was advertising the Unigate milk, and yeah, we used to have these like red and white straws, and it was a national obsession. And you can see, watch out, these pictures there, watch out for the Humphreys, that people had mugs, there was T-shirts. I think we should try and get it back. I really do. It was hilarious. And let's see about the milk float. Hold on. Milk float. There you go. So you see that? The one on the right there, the red and white one, that's a typical milk float that used to go around and deliver milk to people's houses and whatnot back in the day. Yeah, so I just thought you'd like to see that bit of history for you there. Anyway, so yeah, I told you he came back. Oh, okay. Sorry, Joanne. I must have forgot about that. I don't remember that. Mind you, like I said, my memory is appalling. Craig Malloy says, yeah, I know. Yeah, laugh out loud. Static says, hi, Static. How are you, bro? Hope you're well, mate. He says, hey, Warren. And Joanne Smith says, very interesting topic, JFK. It certainly is. It'll be one for me to talk about when I do a stream on Diesel's channel at some point in the future. I'm doing one next Tuesday on, talking of which, I'm doing one next Tuesday about Area 51 and Bob Lazar. Why not Spursy? Mick Arteta says, good afternoon, Joanne. And those of you, any of you that haven't subscribed to Diesel's channel, make sure you go and do it. I can't believe that none of you haven't, but make sure you do, because he's superb. He's an absolute natural at this YouTube game, and he's very passionate about Arsenal, and he don't just talk about football, as you probably gathered by the fact that he gets me on there doing this paranormal stuff and whatnot. Yes, the Wanderer is back, and happy days, happy stays with me loads, called him Dexter. Yes, Wanderer is back, and happy stays with me loads, called him Dexter. Nice one, Dexter, that's cool. Craig, I think me and you want some tea. Laugh out loud. Tea. Taib, I need something stronger than tea. Yeah, I think a shot of whiskey probably will be the order of the day, to be honest. I think definitely be in order to have a few shots of whiskey. And Ty was saying, says, Craig, what would that be? Why not Spursy Mick Arteta? Spursy milk still gets delivered round my manor. Does it still get delivered? Fucking hell, wow, that's madness. And why not Spursy Mick Arteta says, big up Static. And Joanne says, I sold 2 of my Arsenal shirts, laugh out loud. I don't want them too embarrassing. Joanne, what are you doing selling Arsenal shirts, man? Don't do that. What happens when we get good again? You might regret it. Joanne Smith says JFK and assassinations would be a good subject to chat about on Diesel's channel. Yeah, it definitely would. It'd be really interesting. Yeah, it's a very intriguing story, and I just don't believe what we've been told about that one. Definitely not. Joanne says Pat Mustard, the hairy baby maker on Father Ted. What? That's mad. Yeah, but Father Ted's was excellent. Afternoon all, says Jez. Hi Jez, hope you're well, mate. Yeah, anyone who hasn't subscribed already, and if you haven't, anyone who hasn't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Because Jez has let out 3 videos already on his new channel, and all of them are absolutely superb. Mate, you really hit the button. You hit the nail on several heads with that stream you did about the review of the Brighton game, mate. I absolutely loved it. And Craig Malloy, Jez afternoon, big up, mate. And also, Jez, can I just say thank you so much for what you said on Northside's stream about me helping you and whatnot. You didn't have to do that, by the way, but it was nice for you to say it. So thank you very, very much. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video that I sent as well about the greatest ever Arsenal team, or George Graham's greatest ever Arsenal team, because it was wild. All those old great players that he was talking about, and you know, it was just fantastic. I remember Jack Kelsey used to work in that club shop that was up. It was the entrance to it was just up for, you know where the entrance used to be for the JVC Centre. It was just up a little bit past there, I think, and it was a tiny little thing. Yeah, he'd be in there with about 2 other people, and I remember going in there with my dad, and my dad having a chat with him and whatnot, and like him signing something for me. But the place was rammed it was. And I remember when we came out, my dad said, yeah, he was a great Arsenal goalkeeper and a great goalkeeper for Wales and stuff like that. And I was thinking to myself, what's he doing working in a club shop there? Yeah, but there you go. Why not Spursy Mick Arteta? I love watching comps of R10, magnificent footballer, stone cold assassin on the ball. Yeah, man, it's amazing stuff. And Joanne Smith says, I will underline that when we get better. That's a long shot. We will get better at some point. We have to. We can't keep going on like that, like this. It's just ridiculous. Jez Collins says, Warren, cheers, mate. You're welcome, buddy. Warren, it was superb. Great show. Yeah, that Arteta person was a bit crazy, but I guess he was at least he was respectful, and he didn't start abusing people and whatnot, which makes a nice change. But yeah, it was a good show. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, so let's get on with this show. Like I say, it's match day 31 of it's about match day 31 of the FA Premier League. So we're going to look at what happened in the games and have a chat about that. Just to remind everyone, there is a petition available for you to sign. which I created on the change.org website a while ago now. And basically the idea is just to put some pressure on the club. I'm not expecting for 5 minutes that the club are going to take any notice of it whatsoever. But what I do expect is that it'll put some pressure on them if we can get enough people to sign it, by telling them, you know, that we don't want Mikel Arteta to be offered a new contract. So if you want to sign it, you can. If you don't, that's fine. But the link is in the description of this video. Just click on the link, and if you want to sign it, yeah, like I say, it's fine. It's free. You don't have to pay anything to sign it or anything like that. So, yeah, if you can sign it, it'll be absolutely superb. But there you go. Anyway, so at the beginning of the weekend, this was the Premier League table. And as you can see, Man City and Liverpool were sat up the top of the table, 1 point separating them, both having played 30-odd games, having played 30 games. Chelsea were third, having played 29. Tottenham were fourth, having played 1 game more than Arsenal, and we were both on 54 points. And West Ham were in sixth, 3 points behind Arsenal. And then in seventh was Manchester United on the same points as West Ham, but they'd played 1 game less than West Ham. So it was looking quite tight up the top there. It really was. And then in eighth, we had Wolves. They were 2 points behind Manchester United, but they played a game more. And then there's a big gap of 12 points down to 9th place, which is where Crystal Palace are. And then if we go down to the bottom, Norwich were 4 points behind the second bottom side, Watford. And then Burnley were a further 2 points ahead of Watford in 18th. And then 1 point ahead of them, we had Everton. Everton were sitting only 1 point ahead of Burnley. And like I said the other day, they're in serious danger of getting relegated. And then Leeds are sitting in 16th, and they're 5 points clear of Everton. And Newcastle are 1 point ahead of Leeds. So I don't know about everyone else, but obviously it's still not over. And it's not over till the fat lady sings. But it would be unlikely to see Newcastle and Leeds at this stage now getting relegated, but you never know. It could all quickly change because there's still a lot of games to play. It's still a lot of points up for grabs, so anything could change at any minute. So, you know, I don't think it's over by any stretch of the imagination. So the fixtures this weekend, Friday night was Newcastle against Wolves. Then Saturday lunchtime, Everton took on Manchester United. And then we had 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday afternoon. So Arsenal played Brighton, Southampton played Chelsea, and Watford against Leeds. And then the Saturday evening kickoff was Aston Villa against Spurs. And then we had 3-2 on Sunday. We had 2 o'clock kickoffs, which were Brentford against West Ham, Leicester against Crystal Palace, Norwich against Burnley, and then at 4:30 we had Manchester City and Liverpool. So yes, big games there, a lot of riding on them, particularly the Man City Liverpool game, the Everton Manchester United game, and the Norwich and Burnley games. So yeah, we're going to go through all these games and look what happened. So before we do that, let me just get back into the chat and catch up, because I can see I can see that I've got a lot in there, so let's go on with that. And Static says, why not Heyman? And why not Spursy? Mick Arteta says, big up Jez the Don. top man, loving the channel and your appearance on Northside yesterday. Yeah, that was wild, mate. I loved that show. It was fantastic. And Old School Colour says Arteta out. Yeah, absolutely. Get him out. I want him out now. I know, Jez, the other day you said wait till the end of the season, but I want him out now. The reason I want him out now is so that we can get a new guy in now so that he can assess the squad and start making preparations for the summer window, because what I'm worried about is if we don't do it now, then they decide to sack him at the end of the season, then we could end up spending most of the bloody summer transfer window trying to recruit a new manager. And once that's completed and the new manager's in place, like we could have no time to strengthen the squad and get it looking the way the new manager wants it to look. And as well as that, any decent players that we could have targeted could have been snapped up by somebody else. So that's my rationale for it. Probably completely off key and completely wrong, but that's just what I think, to be honest. But yeah, I definitely want him out. Tave says, where do old ants go? The antique store. The antique store. Tave, man, you're outrageous. Warren, Static says, Warren, I'm good. I hope you are well too. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Static. And Old School Gunner says, enough is enough. Come on, you Gunners. Exactly. It was enough before he got bloody appointed, mate, to be honest. I never wanted him in the first place. I know lots of people say that, but I didn't. And I remember like talking to someone about it before he got appointed and saying to them, look, just because he sat next to Pep doesn't mean to say he's going to be a good coach, right? Because that's what a lot of people will say. Yeah, well, you know, he sat next to Pep. Well, so what, right? I could go and spend a year sitting next to a brain surgeon, watching everything they do. But does it mean I'm going to be a good brain surgeon or whatever? No, it does not. It's just mad, honestly. It's ridiculous. Jez Collins says, why not Spursy? Mick Arteta, love Arsenal, hate Cronky. Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. I roasted that deluded Mo. He said he had supported Arsenal since '84, but he did not know who David Dean was. Yeah, I loved it when you said that. I just thought it was hilarious. That made me laugh when he come out with that, and that just sealed it for me. And I saw you when I was watching it. I was seeing you, and I could see you getting more and more frustrated. And a couple of times you puffed out your cheeks, and I was just thinking, poor old Jez. He looks like he's gonna he's really struggling to keep it down. Oh my God, it was wild. Joanne Smith says hi, Jez, and hi, Static, says Joanne, and Static says Joanne Smith, hello, and Jez says hi, Joe, and then Static. Jez Collins, hey Jez, well done for destroying Mo, laugh out loud. Yeah, it was quality, mate. The way that you did it as well, Jez was absolutely superb. Jez, how could he not know who David Dean was? I mean, that is it, isn't it? I mean, that just sums it up, honestly. It's ridiculous. It really is. And then he's sitting there trying to make an argument as to why we should keep Mikel Arteta. It's just mad. It is, man. That just sums it up. That's the sort of nonsense that we're up against. It is. It's absolute nonsense. And like when it's that off the scale, it's really difficult because they're so far gone that it's difficult to rein it in. It just is. It just looks ridiculous. You know. Jez Collins says, hi, Static, hi, mate. Yes, he really angered me. So I went all in. Yeah, fair play to you as well, Jess. Craig Malloy, exactly what Jess Collins, Craig Malloy, exactly, Warren. Static says, Jez Collins, I don't blame you. No, neither do I, mate, because it just gets ridiculous. And Jez Collins says, Warren, that is a good point, to be fair. Well, yeah, it's just what I think, mate, to be honest. I mean, it just worries me a bit. The longer that he's in here, particularly when it's coming up to a bloody transfer window as well, because it worries me that they're going to give him another bloody great big chunk of money. And then what happens if the new guy comes in and he doesn't like the players that he brings in? They've then got to try and get rid of them. And if they're on really big wages, then we're going to struggle to get rid of them. It's just ridiculous. I hear Pepe is going, oh, no, I hope not. Because I really think if we had a proper manager, say, I don't know, just for argument's sake, Antonio Conte walked out of Spurs and we was able to persuade him to come to us. Can you imagine what Conte would do with Pepe? And I'm convinced that he would have him performing to a really high level. Jess Collins says, Craig Malloy, sorry, mate, but the wrong name. Sorry, wrong name. It's wrong name in there, mate. And Tybe, Jez, I love the way you dealt with that Arteta in geezer on Northside channel last night. Exactly. And that's what I like about Jez. He don't take no nonsense. He doesn't. And Joanne Smith says, Del Boy told that turd Robbie. Yeah, that was fantastic as well. I mean, what made me concern me a lot about that was when Robbie just kept saying, yeah, wait till the end of the season, wait till the end of the season. But the biggest thing about it was, I'm pretty sure that he said, and if it's still like this at the end of the season, then maybe I'll be with you. Maybe. I mean, I'm thinking, well, what more does this clown have to do for you to, like, admit that he's not good enough? I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, that tweet that, Jess, you were on Lee Gunner's channel the other day when he pulled that tweet up. That fella, and he laid out, was it something like 39 different sackable offences that clown has done? I mean, it was just unbelievable. Sackable offence number 1, sackable offence number 2, sackable offence number 3, and so it went on. I mean, it's just crazy. How many other managers who are at top clubs, and never mind in this country or in Europe, but around the whole world, would be able to get away with having 39 sackable offences? I mean, it's just ridiculous. It really is. I mean, it's laughable. It's turning this club into a laughing stock. It really is. And the thing is, Robbie needs to be careful because people are laughing now at AFTV, not because their content is supposed to be funny, but because they've become a laughing stock and they're a joke. No one takes them seriously. Everyone thinks that they're a shambles. Everyone thinks that they talk shit. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It really is. It's just getting beyond a joke. Taib says Arteta hasn't got the intelligence to manage any football team. The guy's a clown. And Jez Taib was saying, cheers, mate. Yes, he had it coming. Rinsed him. Had it coming. You did, Jez. You absolutely destroyed him, mate. It was superb. And Taib was saying, says, Jez, thumbs up. Yeah, no, it was absolutely brilliant. Joanne Smith says, when Arteta took over, I thought, let's see what he can do. But it soon became clear that he couldn't do much. See, the thing is, I was worried about this when he was appointed. Well, I was dead against it, to be fair, because what concerned me about it was that I knew that the club was in a bit of a mess, and that, in my opinion, Unai Emery worked miracles with that squad to get him to a European final and like 3 points away from third, okay? And I just thought it was staggering. And I just thought that the job would have been a challenge for an experienced manager, but to give it to a novice, someone who'd never ever managed before, and I just thought it was asking for trouble, and it has been trouble ever since. It has. He hasn't. The thing is, if you look at his record, he hasn't even equalled what was achieved by Unai Emery or Arsene Wenger, let alone surpassed it. I mean, it's just crazy. Honestly, I just can't. I just don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand how anyone can back this nonsense. Ty Ibersain says 39 crimes Arteta has got away with. Laugh out loud. 100%. Warren, this will shock you, but I had an argument with a hater for saying 39 offences caused was hyper-exaggerated when it was actually 3 or 4. Embarrassing. I mean, even if it was 3 or 4, that'd be enough. I mean, 1 is enough. I mean that. But you're right. That is embarrassing. So when you actually point, I would have said to him, "Well, are all these things that are listed? Are they factually incorrect?" And if he'd said, "Yeah," he said, "Well, can you show me the ones that are factually incorrect then?" Because you can't argue with facts. It's simple as. Why not Spursy? Mick Arteta says, Mo was saying, give credit this, you must praise that. Laugh out loud for what? He has and is doing the nothing different from a League One manager. The basics of management, and he has made a hash of that already. You're 100% correct, mate. The only thing that I disagree with is I would put it to you that there are plenty of managers in League One who would make a better job of running Arsenal than what he does. I'm telling you, right? In League One and in League Two, right? And I just think the whole thing is an absolute shambles. Any one of us in this bloody, me and all of you lot in the chat, would make a better job of running the Arsenal than him. Not that I'm advocating that by any stretch of imagination, because none of us have got any experience of running a football club. Well, I don't think we have. I mean, I know I haven't. Static says, Warren, I responded to him by saying that 1 offence would be enough to get rid of Arteta, but when there's more than 4 offences caused, come on, it's time is up for Arteta. Exactly. Joanne says, it wasn't one of those exciting signings getting Arteta. It didn't get me off my seat. Yeah, exactly. Craig says, Arsenal signed Arteta as a panic buy. They did. They absolutely did. Ron, the person said it was unnecessary. In other words, he was talking a lot of crap. Exactly, mate. Joanne Smith says, Clown and his cones needs to go. Yeah, he does need to go. It's crazy that he's managed to stay as manager this long. Ali Ibrahim, I've said before, I believe Emery had not been treated fairly. Had he been given what Arteta has had, we'd be in a far better place now. I've 100%, Ali. You're spot on, mate. And I think Emery's a good manager, and I think we made a mistake getting rid of him. because if he'd been given the backing that Arteta has, and because he wasn't, then I'm convinced we'd be in a title race by now. Emery doesn't do well in the league, but he's a pretty good manager in European competitions, says Taib. That may be true, but if he'd been given £250 million to spend, he wouldn't have wasted it the way that Arteta has, that's for sure. Static, great show, Warren. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, mate. We haven't even really started yet. Why not says Emery took Arsenal to the second European final of my lifetime. I was aware, unconscious of. Exactly we did. And I've seen Arsenal in the first one I remember was the 1980 Cup Winners' Cup final when we lost in a penalty shootout to Valencia, a game where David O'Leary kept probably at the time the world's greatest striker quiet. The next one, I believe, was the 1993 final when Arsenal won the Cup Winners' Cup under George Graham. And then the following year, we went back and played in the Cup Winners' Cup final and lost to Real Zaragoza after Naeem lobbed David Seaman from the halfway line. Then the next one was the UEFA Cup final when we lost on penalties to, was it? It was a Turkish team. That was it, Galatasaray. And then the next one after that, I believe, was the Champions League final when we lost to Barcelona. And that absolutely destroyed me. I was depressed for about a month after that. Anyway, so let's get back to this chat. Yeah, done that one. And then Ali Ibrahim says, thanks for reading my type, mate. You're the first podcaster to do so. All the rest wants paying. Mate, I'm never going to do that. If someone puts a comment in the chat, I'm going to want to read it. I want to know what you guys are saying. And I know I didn't do it when I was doing the show with Diesel, but it was because I was really stressed because I was losing control of the stream. I really was, because my notes weren't. I thought I had my notes organised, but they weren't. They was all over the shop. And so that was the only time I've not done it, because I was really stressed out, because I was so determined to make the thing work for Diesel, and I was worried that I was going to mess it up. Anyway, so let's get back to this, because I've been going for nearly 44 minutes. I haven't done anything yet. Anyway, so the first game of the weekend was on Friday night when Newcastle took on Wolves at St James's Park. Newcastle won by 1-0 thanks to a penalty from Chris Wood in the 72nd minute to give Newcastle all 3 points. The match stats for this game were that Newcastle had 12 shots, 4 were on target. They had 41% possession. They made 378 passes and had 81% pass accuracy. Before the weekend, Newcastle were in 15th, and after the win, they stayed in 15th. Wolves, same for them, really. Before the weekend, they were in 8th, and they stayed in 8th afterwards. Their match stats were that they had 5 shots, 2 were on target. They had 59% possession. They made 546 passes and had an 82% pass accuracy. So, yeah, that was the Newcastle Wolves game. So with that victory, I'd say that Newcastle are more or less safe, although it can't be guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination. But, they took a big step, let's say, to getting safety. Next game of the weekend was the lunchtime kickoff on Saturday. Everton beat Manchester United by 1-0. Gordon scored in the 27th minute for Everton to give them a 1-0 win over Man United. And United at the moment, they just look like they can't buy a win, to be quite frank. God knows what's going to happen when they come to the Emirates, what will happen with that one. But I just think the same thing will happen as always happens when we play United at home or away. If they're in bad form, they always suddenly turn up and start playing and manage to get a win. And I don't understand why it is, but that's what tends to happen. Anyway, so let's look into this one a bit more. And it was a massive 3 points for Everton. They are in serious relegation danger. So to get 3 points out of this game would have been a massive relief for Frank Lampard and everyone at Everton. And the match stats for this one, Everton had 7 shots, 3 shots were on target. They had 32% possession, made 307 passes, and had a pass accuracy of 66%. Before the weekend, they were sat in 17th, and they stayed in 17th after this game. And Manchester United, on the other hand, before the weekend, they were in 7th, and they stayed in 7th. They had 12 shots, 4 were on target. They had 68% possession, made 641 passes, and had a pass accuracy of 81%. And then we come to the big one. Well, big one for me anyway. Arsenal against Brighton at the Emirates on Saturday at 3 o'clock. And what an absolute shit show of a performance it was. It was terrible. I mean, I just thought, well, I wasn't able to see the first half because I had anyone who watched my stream will know I had a load of trouble with the technology on Saturday, and I'm still quite embarrassed about it, to be honest. Anyone who had to watch that will know how upset I was, but I managed to get it working for the second half, and I saw a team that just looked absolutely clueless about how to break down a well-organised, tactically astute side, because Brighton were. They looked so much better organised than what we did, and we just struggled to break them down. They just couldn't. They didn't look like they were going to be able to score, save their lives. So, yeah, Brighton won by 2-1. They took the lead in the 28th minute through Trossard, and then they added a second one from Mwepu in the 68th minute, and then Odegaard scored one in the last minute of normal time to make it 2-1. Arsenal did have a goal disallowed, to be fair, in the first half early on, but it got ruled out for offside. So, yeah, that was that, really. A very poor performance, and it's very worrying, really, that they can lose only 2 players and then everything falls apart. Like Tierney and Partey, and then the whole team falls apart. And for me, it all goes back to this Project Youth thing and the January transfer window, where Arteta allowed 7 or 8 players to leave this club and never sign one replacement. That, for me, is damning. It's a massively worrying that he's allowed that to happen. I mean, he's left the squad paper thin, and as soon as you get a few injuries and suspension, this is what happens. He struggled to be able to name a suitable starting 11. We had to put Granit Xhaka back at left back because he didn't trust the deputy left back, and then having taken Xhaka, we've already lost one midfield player, like Thomas Partey, through to injury. He then takes his partner out, puts him at left back. and then puts a kid in who, to be honest, I think he's great talent and he's got a lot of potential, but I don't think he's ready for Premier League football. And he's allowed Ainsley to go out on loan. I mean, and if he'd been playing in this game, I don't think it would have. I think it would have made a big difference. I really do. But the players and this Project Youth, the way I'm saying that is that he spent £250 million on all these players that supposedly are going to improve the team in the future. How about spending the money on players that are ready now and ready to go now, rather than a lot of inexperienced youngsters? It's just, to me, it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And for me, this whole thing about Project Youth, it shouldn't be called Project Youth. It should be called Project Keep the Numpties in Power, because that's all it's about, is keeping all these idiots in power, because it's delaying them having to be gotten rid of. And for me, that's all it's about, is them looking after their own positions. It's got nothing to do about the football club and what's best for the club. So, yeah, anyway. So, the match stats for this one, Arsenal had 20 shots, 4 of which were on target. They had 65% possession, 512 passes, and an 83% pass accuracy. And then Brighton had 8 shots, 3 of which were on target. They had 35% possession, and they made 283 passes, and they had a pass accuracy of 71%. Arsenal, before the weekend, they were in 5th, and they stayed in 5th at the end of this game. Brighton, they were in 13th at the beginning of the weekend, and as a consequence of this result, they moved up to 11th. The next game of the weekend saw Southampton play Chelsea. Chelsea spectacularly returned to form and did it with some aplomb. They won by 6-0 at St Mary's Stadium. And Alonso scored 1. Mason Mount got 2. Werner got 2. And Havertz got 1. And they absolutely ripped Southampton to pieces. And this keeps happening with Southampton. Like, you know, periodically they'll get an absolute thumping of someone. A couple of years ago, I know they lost 9-0, and yeah, so it's not good for Southampton. But Arsenal are playing them. I think we're playing them next, actually. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in that game. But I can tell you something: Arsenal ain't winning 6-0, that's for sure. The match stats for this game. Southampton had 4 shots, 1 which was on target. They had 29% possession, made 292 passes, had a pass accuracy of 74%. Chelsea, they had 24 shots, 14 on target. That's crazy, isn't it? 14 shots on target. They had 71% possession, 748 passes, and a pass accuracy of 88%. And before the weekend started, Southampton were in 12th, and after the weekend games had finished, they were in 14th. And Chelsea, at the beginning of the weekend, they were in 3rd, and they stayed in 3rd. So there you go. So before we get on to the next game, I'm going to just go into the chat again. Hold on, where are we? Okay, here we go. Why not Spursy Mikel Arteta? Oh, the George Graham Cup Winners' Cup final. I was too young to be aware of the situation. Yeah, mate, that was just... He was an absolute genius of a manager, in my opinion. He really was, and it really upset me the way that he he got sacked. I really wasn't happy about it at all. Why not Spursy Mick Arteta? Laugh out loud, Harry Maguire. Yeah, Harry Maguire, bloody hell. Why not Spursy Mick Arteta? United players have down tools like our players that week. Yeah, it's weird. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't know whether it's the manager, whether it's the players. There's a problem in the dressing room. I just don't understand what's going on, to be honest. Craig Malloy says shambolic performance. It really was. It was, mate. It was terrible. It really was bad. And why not Spursy Mick Arteta? Not even Tierney. I think party injury unravelled Arteta. He lost the general and went on suicidal in selecting batshit crazy. Batshit crazy, mate. That's funny. And Jez Collins, this Saturday, Warren. Yeah, oh God, yeah. It's 3 o'clock as well. That means it's during my bloody Saturday match day show again. Oh my God. And then why not Spursy Mick Arteta? Performance like Brighton under Emery had all the pork chops, self-proclaimed top gooners that the players down tools. They're no longer fighting for the manager. Well, yeah, and, you know, they're all clamoring for him to be sacked. Yet this manager, he gets all the backing under the sun. He's the most backed manager I've ever seen. I've never seen a manager get this sort of backing. Not just at Arsenal, at any club, anywhere. I just don't remember anyone, any manager anywhere being backed like this. It's just crazy. Yeah, so, oh God. Yeah, it's not going to be good, Jess, I don't think, mate. I am worried about that game against Southampton because we don't really have a very good record down there, do we? I mean, not in recent years anyway. And why not Spursy Mick Arteta? Sorry, they're not top gooners, super fans, super losers. 100%, mate. They're just clowns. They are. They talk absolute bollocks. And, you know, it's really annoying as well. It really is. Because why don't these people just bloody speak the truth? So they're just coming out with crap all the time. It just really annoys me. Okay, so let's move on to the next game. Next game saw Watford take on Leeds United. Leeds won by 3-0 thanks to goals from Rafinha, Rodrigo and Harrison. And the match stats for this one. At the beginning of the weekend, Watford were in 19th position in the league, and they stayed in 19th after this one. And Leeds, they were in 16th before the weekend, and they were 16th at the end of it. So nothing really changed for both clubs, really. However, the rest of the match stats were that Watford had 8 shots, one of which was on target. They had 48% possession, made 380 passes, and had a pass accuracy of 66%. Leeds, on the other hand, had 10 shots, 5 were on target. They had 52% possession, 412 passes they made, and they had 63% pass accuracy. So, Ali Ibrahim says, I cannot see us winning at Southampton without Partey, Tierney and Tommy. Sorry to say, I'm afraid our manager is too inexperienced to have any decent game plan. Too many players need carrying. The problem is, he's an inexperienced manager, and this is my opinion about it. He's an inexperienced manager. He can't manage people. He's got no idea how to manage people. and he's got a lot of youngsters in the kids, a load of kids in the team, because they're the only ones who'll listen to him. So it's a recipe for disaster, and it all goes back to who appointed him, and that is the Cronkies. And I just don't think they're serious about this football club. I don't think that they are interested in being successful. I really don't. I just don't believe it. I don't. I just think they see the club as a cash cow. I think you said it the other night, Jez, in your stream, that they see the club as a cash cow, and it's true. I do. I've not seen anything at all to suggest that they're interested in making the club successful. And that is why I think they appointed Arteta in the first place, and they got rid of Emery. I think in Emery, they saw a manager who was going to deliver success if he was given time to do it, and they didn't want that, so they got rid of him. Because when you look at it that way, and if you look at what you'd need to do to a club like Arsenal to ensure that they weren't successful, everything that's happened after that makes sense if you're looking at it through that point. Not that I agree with it, because I don't. In fact, I think it's absolutely disgusting what they're doing. But for them, it makes sense. It really does. And it really disgusts me. Why not Spursy? Mick Arteta says CFC showed some real bottle. 14 shots on target. They were sloppy in front of goal, both posts and the crossbar. They were sloppy in front of goal, but they scored 6. Fucking hell. Yeah, well, that says it all. The fact that they were sloppy in front of goal, and that's not criticism of you, mate. It's just the fact that they were sloppy in front of goal and had 14 shots on target and still managed to get 6. Fucking hell. Can you imagine what would have happened if they hadn't have been sloppy? Jesus. Ali Ibrahim, exactly, spot on. Right, so the next game was Villa against Tottenham. Villa lost by 4-0 against Tottenham at home. And look, that Tottenham team, they're slapping teams left, right and centre. And I have to say, as each week goes past and I see Tottenham keep slapping sides the way they are, I'm getting really worried about that game that's going to be coming up at the Lane when we play them, because I think we're going to get absolutely battered by Conte's mob. I really do. I'm really worried about it. Anyway, Tottenham won by 4-0. Son scored a hat-trick, and the new guy, Kulusevski, he scored one as well. And at the beginning of the weekend, Villa was sat in 11th, and after this game, they went down to 12th. And at the beginning of the weekend, Tottenham were in 4th, and they stayed in 4th. And then for the match stats, Villa had 19 shots, 8 were on target. They had 52% possession. They made 477 passes and had a pass accuracy of 88%. Tottenham, on the other hand, had 11 shots, 5 were on target. They had 48% possession, made 461 passes, and had a pass accuracy of 87%. Brentford against West Ham. Brentford won this game by 2-0, and I have to say I was surprised. Mind you, having said that, Brentford had been playing well quite recently. Ever since Ivan Toney come back from injury, they seem to be doing all right, and they won this game by 2-0, thanks to goals from Mbeumo in the 48th minute and Ivan Toney in the 85th minute. And that's put a serious dent in West Ham's fading hopes of getting a Champions League finish. So, yeah, Brentford did really well there. The match stats for this game, before the weekend, Brentford were in 14th. afterwards, they'd moved up to 13th. West Ham started the weekend in 6th and they stayed in 6th. Brentford, they had 15 shots, 7 were on target. They had 46% possession. They made 473 passes and had a pass accuracy of 83%. West Ham, on the other hand, had 5 shots, 1 of which was on target. They had 54% possession. They had 539 passes and had a pass accuracy of 84%. The next game was Leicester against Crystal Palace. Leicester won by 2-1. And I was quite shocked about that actually as well, seeing how Palace took us apart on Monday night. I thought that they would at least get a draw out of this game, but Leicester beat them by 2-1. And Leicester goals came from Lookman in the 39th minute and a young lad by the name of Dewsbury Hall in the 45th minute, and then Zaha scored one in the 66th minute. The match stats for this game before the weekend started, Leicester were sitting in 10th and they moved up to 9th after the weekend finished. They had 12 shots on goal, 3 were on target. They had a 51% possession and made 501 passes and had a pass accuracy of 83%. Leeds, what am I talking about? Crystal Palace, on the other hand, before the weekend started, they were in 9th, and then after they moved down to 10th, they had 11 shots, 3 were on target. They had 49% possession, 495 passes were made, and they had a pass accuracy of 83%. So, yeah, that was Palace and Leicester. So, Ali says, have you ever seen or hear Arteta mention anything untoward against the hierarchy? Sorry. He does as he is told. He does. And that's another reason why they probably employed him, because they knew he was going to be a puppet. So, yeah, I think you're 100% correct, mate. That Brighton game was Villarreal 2.0. Xhaka at left back and Partey, brackets Lokonga, a centre midfield as a lone DM, but no ESR, false 9. The same mistake, hoping for a better result. Spursy Mikel going batshit crazy. Gee, man, it's hardly surprising, is it? I mean, he ain't got a bloody clue what he's doing. And that, to me, was a panic. It was a panic. He just didn't know what to do, and he just panicked. Why not Spursy? Mikel Arteta says, Tottenham dealt with Villa, but Spuds was lucky to get out of the first half. Well, I have to say, I didn't see it, but they won 4-0, so 4-0's 4-0, innit? But yeah, I don't know if they were lucky or not, because I didn't see it, but I'm just looking at the scoreline, to be honest. Anyway, this Norwich-Burnley game, massive game. One of the three big games of the weekend for me, because there was a lot riding on it in regards to the relegation battle. Norwich was at bottom of the league. Burnley, I think, were third bottom, and Norwich had to win this game. There was no two ways about it. If they hadn't have done, I think that would have been it, curtains. But they won by 2-0, so it keeps their faint hopes of surviving in the league alive. The good news for them is I don't think they've got to play any of the big hitters for the rest of the season. I might be wrong, but I think they played everyone now, home and away. So that would be a massive relief to them. Yeah, so they won by 2-0. Goals from Leeds Malloy in the 9th minute and Pookie in the 86th minute. The match stats for this one before the game, the weekend started, they were in 20th place, and after the weekend they stayed in 20th, but they cut the deficit between them and the teams above them down. Burnley, before the weekend started, they were in 18th and they stayed in 18th. But like I say, Norwich pulled back some of the gap. They closed some of the gap between the two of them, so that would be a big relief for them. The rest of the match stats for this one, Norwich had 17 shots, 6 were on target. They had 44% possession. They made 344 passes. They had 65% pass accuracy. They had 18 shots and they had 4 on target. And they had 56% possession, made 409 passes and had a pass accuracy of 69%. And then the last game of the weekend, and a massive one at the top of the table. Everyone was saying it was a title decider, which obviously whoever had won the game, if there'd been a winner, it would have gone a long way to influencing the destination of the title. But the game ended in a 2-2 draw. Man City went 1-0 up through De Bruyne in the 5th minute. And then 8 minutes later, Diogo Jota equalised for Liverpool. And then City then went 2-1 up in the 36th minute. And all the reports that I've seen was that they could have ended up winning the game 3 or 4. They could have been 3 or 4 up at half time, but they weren't. Liverpool held on. And then shortly after the start of the second half, Mane equalised for Liverpool to make it 2-2. But Manchester City did have a goal disallowed near the end of the game through Sterling, which would have given City a 3-2 win. But from all reports, it sounds like it was an incredible game. So, yeah, fair play to both sides. But it's still all in the melting pot. There's still only 1 point between the two of them. And any slip-ups could now be fatal. They really could. So, there you go. Now, before the weekend started, City were top of the league. Liverpool were in second. And that's why it stayed after the weekend finished. Man City had 11 shots, 5 of which were on target. They had 55% possession. They had 555 passes. They had 85% pass accuracy. And they made 9 fouls. Liverpool, on the other hand, they had 6 shots. 4 were on target. They had 45% possession. They made 459 passes and had a pass accuracy of 80%. And they made 11 fouls. So that was the Man City-Liverpool game. And that was all the results and the match stats from all the matches in the Premier League this weekend. Now, these results that we've just been talking about, this is what it meant for the league title. The league table. Man City was still 1 point clear of Liverpool. Both clubs have played 31 games. Both have 7 games to go. And as I said, one slip up could be fatal. So, yeah, there's still everything to play for. And I'm still envisaging some twists and turns along the way before we get to the end of the season. Chelsea are in third. They played 1 game less than Liverpool and City, but they're 11 and 12 points behind the two sides above them. Tottenham are in fourth. They played 31 games with 57 points. They're 3 points clear of Arsenal, but Arsenal have a game in hand. But Tottenham have a far superior goal difference. Tottenham's goal difference is plus 19. Arsenal is 9. So, yeah, they've got 10 better goal difference. So, in effect, really, they're 4 points clear. So, because that superior goal difference is worth at least an extra point. West Ham are in 6th. They played 32 games and have 51 points. So Arsenal have 2 games in hand on them, but they both got the same goal difference. But West Ham have scored 6 goals more. Manchester United are in 7th. They played 31 games and they're on 51 points. And their goal difference is 2 less than West Ham's and Arsenal's. But they've scored 2 goals less than West Ham and 4 more than Arsenal. Wolves are in 8th. Now, they have, despite their current recent poor form, they're still only 2 points behind Manchester United and West Ham and 5 points behind Arsenal. But the teams above them, all of them except for West Ham, do have games in hand on them. So it's still very interesting and still all to play for. Then after Wolves, there's a gap of 9 points until we get to Leicester, who are in 9th currently. And then if we go down to the bottom of the table, Norwich are sat bottom of the league, still on 21 points, despite winning the huge relegation battle at the weekend against Burnley. They're 1 point behind 19th place Watford, and Norwich have got a goal difference of minus 43. So it's going to be an almighty battle to stay up for Norwich. So they really now need to kick on after that result at the weekend. Watford, they're on 22 points and 31 played. Burnley are on 24 points and 30 games played. And then just 4 points above them, having played the same games as Burnley. Everton are on 28 points from 30 games. And then we have Leeds who are 5 points clear of Everton, but Everton have 2 games in hand on them. But when you're down the bottom, games in hand is next to worthless, to be honest, because invariably you're struggling to get points wherever you go. So I wouldn't really count that much into that. Newcastle are then 1 point ahead of Leeds in 15th place and got 34 points. And then Southampton are 2 points ahead of them, as are Brentford and Southampton. So I would hazard a guess to say that the 3 most likely sides to go down at this stage would be the bottom 3 as it is at the moment. But I'd say any one of those sides up to about 12 or 13, up to about 12, could still get dragged into it because there's still quite a few games to go. But if one of those sides in the bottom 3 suddenly goes on a big run, then it all could change very, very quickly. So, yeah, it's not over by any stretch of the imagination at both ends of the table. So, let's have a quick look at the chat. Why not Spursy? Mikel Arteta Palace was unfortunate. Sloppy defending, individual errors cost. Many Arsenal fans looked at the Palace-Leicester result. See, so what? They battered the crap out of us when we was favourite on form. I don't get that. Sorry, mate. I don't understand what you're saying. Sorry. And then why not Spursy? Mikel Arteta says Norwich took the free hit. Burnley messed up. Yeah. And why not Spursy? Mikel Arteta. Looking at the table, goals against, Arteta fixed the defence, they said, with 90 million. Tottenham got battered everywhere they go. Their defence is shambles, but only conceded one more game with a game more. Yeah, exactly. And I'm sorry, but he hasn't fixed the defence. If we concede 5 more games, 5 more goals in the next 8 games, we would have conceded more goals than last season. And in those 8 games, we got to play West Ham away, we got to play Tottenham away, we got to play Chelsea away, and we got to play Manchester United at home. There is no way on God's earth that we're not going to concede at least 5 in those games. We may, I mean, the way Spurs are playing, the way we're playing, like what shambles our defence is, we could concede 5 against Tottenham. It's just an absolute fucking shambles, the whole lot of it. And this is what I'm saying about our supporters. So many of them talk absolute shite. It's just ridiculous. McManus says Arteta out. 100%, mate. Get him out. Get him out now. Yeah, so 100%, mate. So if we move on from the league table and we look at the Warren's Team Talk predictions game. So we'll look at my predictions for the games that happened at the weekend. The Newcastle Wolves game, I said Wolves win by 2-1, and Newcastle won by 1-0. Not very good start for me there. I said that Everton and Man United a draw 1-0. Everton won 1-0. Carried my poor form carried on there, didn't it? Arsenal against Brighton, I said it would be a 0-0 draw, and Arsenal lost by 2-1. Excuse me, sorry guys. And then, yeah, so I said Arsenal and Brighton a draw 0-0. Arsenal lost by 2-1. Southampton against Chelsea, I said I thought Chelsea would win by 2-1. They certainly won all right. They won by 6-0. And then Watford against Leeds, I said that Watford would lose by 1-0, and they lost by 3-0. Then Aston Villa against Tottenham, I said that Villa would lose by 2-0, and they lost by 4-0. And then Brentford against West Ham, I said that West Ham would win 2-1, and Brentford won 2-0. And then Leicester against Crystal Palace, I'd said it would be a 1-1 draw, and Leicester won by 2-1. And then Norwich against Burnley, I said that Norwich would win by 1-0, and Norwich won by 2-0. And then finally, I said the Liverpool-Man City game would end in a 1-1 draw, and it ended up in a 2-2 draw. So that was my predictions, people. So there's some more chats here. So why not Spursy? Mikel Arteta says, looking at the table, goals against, Arteta fixed the defence. Oh, I think I've read that. Yeah, I have. And McManus says Arteta out. And Carlos Eduardo says, more likely we'll get between 4 or 7 points these last 8 games. it's probably not beyond the realms of possibility, mate. That's for sure. So yeah, thanks very much for that, mate. I hope you're well, Carlos. Nice to see you. So let's look at what those results in my predictions game had on the Warren's Team Talk predictions table for this match week. And here we have it. So still out in front, with 13-point gap between him and me, is James Dunlop. He's got 151 points. This week I got 6 points, which took me up to 138. My mate Mick, he's a Norwich fan. This week he got 3 points. He went up to 134. Joanne Smith, bless her, she was equal top with me this week. She got 6 points, and that moved her up to 15 points. And then Dan Evans, I haven't heard anything from him, so I wasn't able to give him any points. He stayed on 15 points. And then Jamie, I haven't heard anything for him for weeks, and he's still on 8 points. So there you go. There you have it. I'm closing in on James, but I'll probably show his face again soon and rack up another load of points and pull away again. Bless him. Yeah, no, fair enough. So that was that. Just to remind you all that there's a petition that I've got on the change.org website to tell Arsenal we don't want Mikel Arteta to get a new contract. The link for that is in the description of this video. So if you want to go and sign it, you can do. Just click on the link and put your details in. It's completely free of charge, and it'll only take a couple of minutes of your time to do it. So yeah, there you go. That's there. If you want to do it, if you don't, that's fine. I just want to spend some time bigging up the GoonerClaude Trust. They give opportunities to disadvantaged kids to get a day out at Arsenal in the best seats in the house to go and watch a game of football, which I think is absolutely fantastic. The kids absolutely love it, apparently. But there's a link in the video description for this as well. Click on the link and you can find out more about the GoonerClaude Trust and the excellent work that they do with youngsters and stuff. So yeah, that would be absolutely amazing. And then one thing I want to do is tell you about some excellent YouTube channels that I like. There's the Old School Gunner. He's a true old school Irish gunner. He's been supporting Arsenal since 1992. It brings you insightful Arsenal content. Then there's Arsenal Alex. He brings you all things Arsenal, including instant match reactions. Then there's DrawnByDre. He's a passionate young Arsenal fan, and he brings you excellent Arsenal-related content. There's the Aussie Gooner. He discusses all things Arsenal from an Aussie perspective. And then we have Diesel Arsenal. He discusses all sorts of different things on his channel. And in particular, he talks about Arsenal. And don't forget, people, next Tuesday, I'll be going on Diesel's channel again to do my next video about the paranormal. And this time I'm going to be talking about Bob Lazar and Area 51. So I'm telling you, that will be pretty out there, I can assure you, because it's a really incredible story. And then we have Del Boy Gunner TV. He's a passionate Irish Arsenal fan, and he discusses all things Arsenal on his channel. He recently travelled from Dublin over to London to watch Arsenal in the game against Brighton, and he recorded a vlog of his trip. and that vlog is just unbelievable. He did some brilliant fan cams, and fair play to him. He even managed to get a fan cam with Robbie from AFTV, and it absolutely destroyed Robbie. Fair play to him as well, because that channel, as far as I'm concerned, is in the mud. Then there's the new channel from Jez, Arsenal, the History and More. He's a passionate, lifelong Arsenal fan since 1967. And what he doesn't know about Arsenal isn't worth knowing. And he's doing videos about the history of Arsenal, and he's also done a match review of the game against Brighton, and he hit several nails on the head, let's say, in that video. Then there's Gracie-Mae, a really young Arsenal fan. She's a passionate young Arsenal fan, and she brings you the voice of true fans and spreads the history of the club. So fair play to her. We're going to be doing a video together next week, so keep your eyes open for that. Then there's NorthsideLdn. He's an honest Arsenal fan who demands success and refuses to accept mediocrity. And he has people on with all sorts of different opinions about the club, and he makes them all feel welcome. He did a fantastic stream yesterday where he had this guy from Iraq who was a passionate Arteta in person, and Jez absolutely destroyed him, absolutely rinsed him. He did, and it was absolutely superb. And then last but not least, there's SFeatleyTV. His is a charity YouTube channel that covers Arsenal and Formula One content, and he likes to raise, and he does raise awareness and money for the Children's Liver Disease Foundation. So yeah, please, please, please go and support Stephen, because all the money he makes from his YouTube activity goes to that charity, and it's to help kids suffering with liver disease. So you can't really say fairer than that, can you? I mean, you know, helping kids. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's something I get very emotional about, I have to say. So fair play to him, and I'm really, really proud of what he's done. So fair play to him. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks very much for watching. I'm just going to go through the last of these chats before I sign off and say goodbye to you all. Ron, you might have to update your great channels list. Right, okay. Any particular ones that you want me to add to it, mate? Why not Spursy? Mikel Arteta says, laugh out loud, you have. I spoke too soon. Okay, my friend, no problem at all. Yeah, so, yeah, make sure you go and check out those channels. The links for all of them are in the description of this video. Just click on the link of the one that you want to go and check out, or go and check them all out. That would be absolutely superb. Put likes on the videos, give them a subscribe, share their content around, all that sort of stuff. That would be absolutely brilliant. And I'm telling you something, guys, you won't be disappointed. I'm sure of that. And then why not Spursy? Mick Arteta says, Jez was majestic yesterday. Laugh out loud. Shooting from the hip like an old school gunslinger, both barrels. Exactly, mate. He don't hold back, and neither should he. And Jez Collins says, great short show. Cheers, Ron. Cheers, mate. No, it's an absolute pleasure, Jez. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and keep doing what you're doing, Jez, because, listen, mate, we need more people like you. We really do. And I just want to give you a big thank you for keeping it real, for, like, trying to raise the standards in the fan base for this football club, because this club is the club that I grew up loving, and I just hate seeing it getting dragged like this through the dirt. I'm sorry, man. I really am. It's the last link I've got with my late father, and I hate it. I hate seeing it like being destroyed like this. I really do. And I just want to thank you for doing everything you can to try and bring us back to where we should be. So thank you, Jez, from the bottom of my heart, my friend. Always be grateful to you, my brother. And come on, you Gunners. And as the fella in the North Bank used to say, what was it he used to say? Come on, you rip-roaring Reds. I used to love it when he used to say that. That fella in the North Bank, he used to go, come on, you rip-roaring Reds. And Ty says, no Arteta will ever beat Jez in an Arsenal debate. No, he won't, because they ain't got nothing to say. If they're being honest, how can they defend it? It's just indefensible. Why not Spursy? Mikel Arteta says, big up, Jez. Always a pleasure listening to you. And it's true, it is a pleasure listening to him. Warren, it's okay, mate. Let's hope things get better. Yeah, I hope so, man, because it's breaking my heart. Big up, Warren, says Jez. Thank you, Jez, and big up to you, mate. And as I said, thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. It means the world to me, this club. And it's breaking my heart. It really is. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go now before I embarrass myself anymore. Have a lovely afternoon, rest of the day. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And thanks very much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. If you haven't done it already, please put a like on the video. Please subscribe to my channel. And please share the content around. And yeah, thanks very, very much. Keep talking to each other. And please look after and support all your loved ones, your family, your friends. And please share... please spread some love and kindness around the world. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day, and please take care. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.